Grab your horse and Johnny, get your gun. Leave no man behind, not even one. Hoot and holler right into the sun. Never sleep, our battle's just begun. Yeah, we're on the run. Every city, every town, was love the underground. Outlaws feared by everyone. That's why, boy, we're on the run. We're on the run. Grab your horse and Johnny, get your gun. Leave no man behind, not even one. Hoot and holler right into the sun. Never sleep, our battle's just begun. Yeah, we're on the run. Don't have time to cover all our tracks. Keeping our heads down, no looking back. Ain't no place that we can call our home. Hit the road, we're on the run. Grab your horse and Johnny, get your gun. Leave no man behind, not even one. Hoot and holler right into the sun. Never sleep, our battle's just begun. Yeah, we're on the run.
Yeehaw!
As far as life goes, I'd say it's getting dark. Separating these from those, my heart's falling apart.
I haven't heard you laugh since God knows when. I'd give up everything just to hear you smile again.
I look around, everything seems broken. You look at me, cries for help unspoken. So hold my hand, I hold yours too. Won't let you go, we'll see this through. I guarantee we're going down a bumpy road, but I'd rather be in hell with you than live in heaven alone.
Our troubles and our worries aren't going anywhere. But you and me, babe, we're the ones who care.
Grass is always greener, suddenly not here. We'll take them one by one, year by year.
I look around and everything seems broken. You look at me with cries for help unspoken.
So hold my hand, and I hold yours too. Won't let you go, we'll see this through. I guarantee we're going down a bumpy road, but I'd rather be in hell with you than live in heaven alone. Our path together getting pretty tall.
But there's no
you go. We'll see this through. I guarantee we're going down a bumpy road, but I'd rather be in hell with you. Yeah, I'd rather be in hell with you than live in heaven alone.
Cute.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. I am returned to the DM seat on another episode of ForeverVerse. I have to say, Jason, I enjoyed the crap out of Back to Basic.
Awesome.
That was so much fun, and I hope we get a chance to do it again.
Hopefully we'll get to go back.
Go to basic.
Yeah.
Back to basics.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, there is still a story to tell, and there is so much more that is ahead of us. So then, as a result of that, I think it is only what's the word I'm looking for? It's only
Fitting.
fitting.
Appropriate.
Thank you.
Apropos.
Good verb choices.
Those are adjectives.
Adjective choices.
Oh, man.
Oh, strong start. Here we go. Back in the seat.
But you've been writing all day. You don't have to be good at words now.
Good stuff.
Yeah, into it. So, as a result of the fact we've been away from the main storyline for so long, I think it only apropos to do a bunch of Eureka moments, which we decided about. Now, normally, for those of you who were paying attention to last week, we were initially going to say that Miss Amy...
Yeah, I was gonna run Fiasco, but I mean, I love the game, but really, it's way more interesting to me to continue the story. I was gonna step in case Ivan needed some more recovery time from ITTD. Turns out, he doesn't
He's
need
ready.
any more
He's
recovery.
got energy from it.
Yeah,
A
so
whole page of notes!
so I'm not been out of shape. This was definitely a mutual decision. I'm like, yeah, I want some Eureka moments up in here. So
Yeah, Fiasco is good, though. It's a great system.
it is a great system. One day.
One day. And then, Fiasco, did you ever play Gumshoe?
No.
Gumshoe?
I'm not.
Gumshoe.
Is
I like
that
that
the one
name.
that we did for Critical Rejects?
Right, Critical Rejects.
Yeah.
Ages and ages ago.
Wow, that was like the beginning of all of this.
I would probably say that was a year and a half plus ago.
Oh my
So,
god, that was
we're-
great.
That
I
was
still remember
actually-
some of the inside jokes. Still funny.
A year and a half later?
Yeah.
Are there any about calling a dog on the phone?
No. That inside joke is, I guess, just a Twitter thing.
Okay.
I guess.
It's just on the internet.
Yeah, that's just
Oh.
the
Oh,
internet.
I've
Oh,
heard,
it's just on
I've
the
heard of
internet.
that. I've heard
Out
of
on
that.
the outside, to everybody.
So it's an outside joke.
It's an outside joke.
Okay.
Yeah.
But none of us on the inside get it.
No.
So
Ooh, it's what makes it an inside joke.
Right. Anywho.
dang it.
Gumshoe, you
I'm gonna
say.
get to the bottom of this.
We have 3, maybe even 4 Eureka moments planned out for today. Which
Fuck
if
y'all.
I know they're all in there, but if we get through them all, great. If not, we will just hop back into a little bit of puppet land if we get through them all without even realizing it. But we'll just see. Time is a flexible thing.
I want all Eureka moments all the
That's
time.
what this episode's called.
All Eureka
All
moments.
Eureka moments
All the time.
All Eureka all the time.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm very excited. I get so invested.
You know that's
in
our
this.
state motto, right?
Your state motto.
Eureka.
Eureka?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
For California.
California?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, because of the gold
Because
rush.
Gold Rush.
Eureka!
Eureka!
Yeah, I learned that in
Rich!
4th
And then
grade.
they were.
California
and then a bunch of
history.
people died.
You know who really got
Some
rich?
people got rich.
It's people selling pants. They
Yeah,
got
Levi
rich.
Strauss.
Pants?
Yeah.
Or
Pans and pickaxes?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
I thought you
those
were saying
people got
pants.
rich. No, not pants.
But
Pants,
you were right
too.
too. Yeah, Levi
Levi's.
Strauss.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, pants.
yeah,
Pans
and then
for
the
gold.
brothel owners that are also outside of the gold rush too.
Right.
They got rich.
Yeah.
So gold rush, man. So we have
Eureka.
the first of our Eureka moments is dedicated to Jason Charles Miller, as well as Amy Vorpal.
Ooh.
And they are from
Wait, is that us?
YouTube. And you can you two can thank online Mr. Chaotic Looney,
Yay, Chaotic Looney, thank you.
as well as
I like Chaotic.
Critter Nation.
And Critter
I like
Nation.
Critter Nation.
Okay.
That's Murray.
For these two, I should probably eat a little crow and say that these were donated back in January 20th,
Whoa! Wow.
2017.
That's not too
Whoa.
Yeah.
But that was
Like,
But there was
oh my god.
Look,
time
there was
goes by.
International Tabletop Day coming up in 4 months. So how are we supposed to do that?
You say 4 months like that's a long time. It was not that much time. It took a lot to get in there. So we have our first Eureka moment presented for
Don't be gross, you two.
Alan Hope.
Don't be, I heard
She
you.
was gross. I laughed
I don't
at
think
it.
that we
That's
didn't
it.
hear that.
I didn't hear it.
You're part of the problem.
Explain it to me.
No.
What did you
That's
What
not
did you
fair.
say?
Just know that Amy was
Just call the
inappropriate,
dog. Maybe
as
he'll tell you.
always.
Hello. Hello.
Hello,
You
that's
guys
a
know what
dog.
I'm talking about, right? You've all
Yeah,
seen that.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Super familiar with this meme. I like that it's now Erica's thing. Is my thing.
Yeah.
I like that it's that upsetting to Jason.
He's like trying to figure it out.
I want. It's like it's a code I have to decipher.
Doesn't make any sense.
Okay. All right.
There were a lot of good gifable moments last week.
Have
We
you
had some
tried-
real
There were. There's a
classics.
ton of
Yeah.
them.
And we
Have you
all
tried
got
looking
tagged
up-
in them.
Have you tried looking up the origin of it? Because I did that yesterday. I was looking for this GIF as this perfect like example of how I was feeling to respond to something on Twitter. And I'm like, oh, I don't know the name of this GIF though. So then I went and like Google searched it because I kept searching for the GIF by describing it and it's not coming up.
What was
Right,
the
right.
Because most GIFs when you search for them, you'll put like LOL
Yeah.
or like haha or like no way or whatever, and then you'll find GIFs that have that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to find this GIF and I couldn't find it, so then I had to like Google search it, and then I found the origin of where it came from and what it was.
What was it?
It's from a rap battle in 2009. This little piece of footage, and I was like, "This is amazing."
But
So
what-
you
Rap
learn about
battle?
it.
What is it?
It's just a
That's
guy
great.
reacting like that.
Oh wait,
yeah.
is it the guy going, oh?
Nope,
No?
that's a different one.
Yeah.
But that's also, I think, from a rap battle.
Wait,
But-
do it again, do it again.
Whoa!
That one.
But he's also coming down. He's like,
Yeah.
and then they animated him coming down, so it's in a
See?
cyclical loop.
But there's
Just
also
Just
one.
Google search it, man. Just
But-
Google search dog on the phone. It's probably from some
Just like, hello, this is dog.
But
It's
what
like-
got me started on all of this, though, from the very beginning, is I wasn't even on Giphy. I was on my iPhone,
Yep.
Apple. I type in the word geek, and Erica's face. It's like the third one.
Thanks, Mobius. Thanks
So,
so much to
thanks to
Mobius.
Mobius.
Strip. Yeah.
Mobius, man.
Mobius is the man.
There are gifts of all of us up there.
He is the king of
The king.
GIF.
The king of the gifts.
King of the
King of the
gift.
gift.
He has the gift
Of
of a
gift.
king.
Half of the ones he gives of me are like a
That's better. That's a
real-
better one.
What?
Hello.
Hello, this is Dog is from a Serbian film from 1984.
Wait.
Yeah.
Really?
Leave it to the Serbs.
Hey.
I'm sure it was from like a low-budget foreign film, a Serbian film from 19.
And that has
Well,
been
dog.
a PSAX. PSAX.
All right. Shall we?
Sure.
Alan
We
Hope,
shall.
you ready to dive into your Eureka moment?
Yeah.
Yep, I'm glad you put a V at the end of that. I thought you were. At first, I thought you said, "Are you ready to
Gonna
die?"
die. Yeah, I thought you were gonna say that too.
Are you ready to dive
Yeah.
into your Eureka moment? Are you ready to die? So, as we last remembered your last Eureka moment, you two were...
I actually wrote it down.
Oh, would you mind
It's
recounting
really,
it
it's
for
really
us?
quick. 'Cause
Yeah.
I didn't really go nuts describing it.
Please describe it to me in
sure.
the
Lurid
lurid details.
It looks like about 40 words. Hal and Hope are on a military engagement to get batteries for our hospital. We don reflective stealth capes and sneak past guards to get the batteries. Our squad set off a distraction and then died in a swarm of beetle-type creatures that were several thousand square feet wide. And that's kind of the long and short of it.
That is the long and short of it. I remember those stealth capes. Those were dope
I
stealth
like
capes.
that I used the word don, too. We donned them.
Donned them.
Yeah.
Sure,
You must have been in
Basil.
like a real creative writing mood.
I must have been just trying to get through, like, write as fast as I could, because don is like a fast way to say put something on.
That's true. Yeah.
But
It's efficient.
Yeah, it's an
Well,
It's like shorthand.
we pick up not terribly long after that last Eureka moment happened, when you were reporting back with the batteries to a refugee camp that is several miles away from your initial, not extraction point, but insertion point into the mission. So, as you remember, it was a convoy line, or at least it was a patrol line that you had stumbled upon, which led to your team going off and leading the distraction. And if you also recall, the reason that they had died is because the transport that was carrying these consuming swarm-like creatures had tipped over, and essentially it was the equivalent of a giant big rig toppling over the side of the freeway and spilling its contents all over the road. So with these images and the sounds of your now extinct squad in your mind, you head back to a small...
But we got batteries, we got the batteries.
You have the batteries, and in fact, if anything, you make it back slowly but deliberately back to your hideaway, which just so happens to be carved into a nondescript hillside that's covering the barren Martian soil at the moment. And in fact, it's hidden amongst ruins of what was probably once a very lush, very populous city. Yeah. And you managed to get in through the only means necessary, which is the smallest one of you, who I believe it's probably you, Hope, right? Mm-hmm. Has to crawl in through a manhole, trip a secret switch.
In our hideaway?
In your hideaway.
Cool hideaway.
And then it opens up a slotted basement into a old abandoned silo.
Nice.
Like in Logan?
I haven't seen Logan.
Oh.
So, unfortunately, I don't know.
It's really rad.
I've heard
what
good
she's
things.
talking about.
Yeah, it's good. I looked into the cost of purchasing a missile silo out in Oklahoma at one point in my life. So
Wait, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
what?
You can purchase old missile silos and then live in them.
Yeah.
Like ones that have been decommissioned by the military. It's a thing, and it's a cool thing.
And they're not very expensive for what you get.
Right.
You'd be like a James Bond villain.
Yep.
It's in farmland. It's not.
But you'd have to but then you'd have to live in like Oklahoma though.
Also, just to be fair, a lot of these silos have been decommissioned for decades, so they're not very kept very well.
Yeah, it's what you call a fixer-upper.
Yeah.
I went to school in Oklahoma, and I still wouldn't want to live there.
Yeah. Well,
I'm a burn.
You know, all I'm saying is party silo.
Party silo.
Party silo. So you go down the not party silo, leading down into your secret hideaway, leading into.
But I let him in, right?
Oh, you let him in. You have to crawl in through a cubby just to flip the entry switch. So there's no visible latch that's outside.
Cool.
But as you descend the ladder and crawl into the small tunnel leading into an open area, you are immediately greeted by a sentry who snaps to attention and greets you both by your formal names.
Is it a human or
What do you mean, our formal names? Hal and Hope?
Hal and Hope, but you are only known as Hal and Hope, but I'm assuming you have titles to both of your names as well, too, you being soldiers. Do you remember what those titles are?
No. But I might have written it down.
No, you never wrote it down because I never told you. You're going to tell me.
Oh,
Right.
awesome.
Because she was higher ranked than me, right?
Probably.
So.
I will be Sergeant General.
Is that funny?
Could I pick the ranks, please?
Yes.
Ranks?
Go ahead, Jason.
I'll be a staff sergeant. You can be sergeant major. How about that?
Or weapons sergeant? Because remember in...
Well, a weapons sergeant isn't a rank, though.
Oh.
Like,
It's
you can
a
be a
job.
sergeant in charge of weapons,
How do you
per
know
se.
this?
I just know.
Oh, okay.
I'm a boy. We know about military stuff.
What about military stuff? Cars,
Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs, right?
Screw up on that
know
stuff.
about.
It's actually it's ingrained from watching a lot of G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
Usually
it comes
what
from
it
Oh, I
is.
didn't watch that. Okay.
We
Well,
know
I-
about
I
unicorns
have a lot of
and
military people.
rainbows.
I have
Yeah.
a lot
And
of military
butterflies.
in
And
my-
purses.
in my family too. So.
Oh, got you.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm Sergeant Master.
Sergeant Major.
Sergeant Major.
I'm Staff Sergeant.
So he addresses you by your name and your title, snaps to attention, and well, that's at the moment. So he he lowers his arm and ushers you through after flipping what is apparently a very large blast door that seems to be atmospherically pressured. You do notice as you walk through the blast door leading into a decontamination room that he has to his side, he has a large gas mask, as well as several pieces of large ordnance around him as well, too. Or
The Sentry?
the Sentry. Essentially, the Sentry is covered with ordnance and extra atmosphere should he need it, even though you've all known for a long time that Mars was terraformed and the atmosphere was made clear decades ago.
And he takes us where?
He doesn't take you in, he just essentially opens the door to allow you in.
Oh, okay.
So Mars
and he
was
probably
terraformed.
Mars was terraformed.
he's probably saluting
He's saluting, yes.
Eddie's soldier.
He puts his hand down, comes in, flips the switch to allow you in, and as the door opens, you can see a boisterous activity, a hive of activity in the main grate area, leading with several hallways with long grated floors and matted metal walls that has this, well, at one point it probably looked very clean and sterile. Now it just seems kind of rusted, used, and worn. Mm-hmm. The base and the people inside of it look and feel about as tired as you are at this stage. But you know your way around, so you very easily find your way to the main central command, which you were told to report to when the mission was complete. And as you walk through the graded floors and you pass various people who are doing tasks inside of these main nerve center, you notice a lot of boxes that seem to be laid around. In fact, to be fair, the space is not very tidy. There's discarded materials everywhere, packing material, boxes. A lot of the boxes actually have the symbol of the United Red Cross on it, as well as symbols of the UN, as you know, the formalized Federation of Humans, the FFH, and you see a couple of other mainstay corporations that you also remembered from, well, needless to say, they're the last surviving corporate entities since Earth was fallen apart. I apologize. I may need to check just to make sure that I don't have to pick up the baby. 1 second. Hello.
We're on pins and needles.
Perfect. I appreciate you letting me know.
Hi, Cassie.
Everybody in ForeverVerse says hi, by the way.
Hi, Cassie.
Yes, he is hi. So, all right, sweetie. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, bye. I love you.
We love you.
We love you. We miss you.
I do not have to pick up the baby, so that's good. She's on her way home.
I knew it.
Knew it.
It's always a little bit of a crapshoot. Sometimes she
Yeah.
gets home late. So, where was I? Ah, yes. The last remaining corporations are clearly stamped on the side of a lot of these boxes. Gentech X, a terraforming company that was the original consultant who helped put together the Mars Initiative, and then several agriculture and architecture companies are all apparent. And, well, the problem with seeing those for you two is that the ones that are the agriculture and the architecture companies that you see wearing out is those companies no longer exist. As in they were disassembled when Earth was taken over. So these are emergency supplies. And so it's become very clear that this refugee camp is now having to get into their emergency supply holds at the moment in order to.
So they're older, too.
They're older.
Yeah. It'd be like if I found a can of new Coke from like the
Right.
90s.
Yeah.
when they
Or
changed
if
the
you saw
formula.
like a can of Surge hanging around.
Right.
You
Crystal
know?
Pepsi.
Yeah. Or like the old
Volt.
Four Loko. Or Jolt.
Jolt, I meant.
Yeah.
Jolt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What'd you say initially?
Volt.
Oh.
That's incorrect.
I still stand by my Surge analogy.
Surge.
Surge works?
Original
Yeah.
ecto cooler.
Ecto cooler.
Oh, or Bartles and James wine coolers.
That's what
Yeah, no, sorry, I totally.
I remember when they introduced Surge at the New Year's Day parade in Eugene, Oregon, when I was still living there, and I was like, "This stuff is horrible. Why would anyone drink this?" Anyway, you see that despite the bustle of activity, that no one really seems to be doing much of anything. People are running around keeping themselves busy, but it seems to be with, really just tasks to keep people busy. And everyone is terribly excited to see you. And more importantly, they're very excited to see the batteries. But that excitement is also mixed with a bit of dismay or horror, as you're constantly bombarded with questions of, where's the rest of your squad? Did anything happen out there? What's it look like? These are questions that, whether you choose to answer them or not, they stay with you as you check into the central HQ of the refugee camp. And there,
If anyone comes up to me and asks me those questions, I'll give a nice pat on the shoulder and say, "It's good to be back. Good to see you." And that's about the extent of the information
Good.
that I will give out.
All right. Well, you don't have to leave much secrecy for too much longer as you walk into the main room.
It's
The
not
door-
my job to deliver bad news.
Right. Well, you're going to have to deliver bad news soon enough. The door shuts behind you, and you see there's a small group of men, all wearing, military fatigues would be a little too on the money. It actually looks like corporate attire.
Are they all men?
No, there's 2 men and 2 women, and they seem to be huddled around surveillance equipment that's currently in the middle of a large round desk. The ceiling is low, and you can see a lot of people who have to get up and move around to service the equipment are actually having to hunch over a little bit just to get into the room easier. But the 2 men and 2 women do look up and see you and come over to you, and immediately the man in particular and the woman both come up and grab your hand and start shaking it vigorously and goes, "How? Hope. It's good to have you back. Did you get the batteries?"
Here they are.
Good.
But before we begin celebrating, the mission was unsuccessful.
Yes, we did see with our radio equipment that there was some kind of bad connection. We had your entire squad on radar for a long time, but then for a while it was just you two.
That's because the others are gone.
You hear a man over in the back corner yell, "What?" And you look back and you see it's one of the men who had been sitting on and has been looking through with a pair of earphones, and he had been typing on a computer, and he turns around and you see him as the Gen Tech president of this current operation, and not really your boss, but definitely your financial sponsor for this whole operation.
We're the only survivors. We got your batteries.
How could you two be the only survivors? You had a squad of 30.
Before you lash your anger out on us, consider the task you put us through.
It was
We had to cross miles of unknown territory, fighting back demon aliens that you have no idea even existed. These monsters were thousands of feet long, taller than any building you've ever seen. One of them came crashing down. What did you expect?
Wait, your patrol ran into a set of collectors?
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Well, That's we've been watching their patrols for weeks.
Congratulations. Did it help us?
You see him starting to get visibly agitated and upset. Ugh. But at the same time, he takes a breath, breathes in deeply, and goes, "Look, I'm sorry for your loss. In fact, it's a hard hit for all of us. Those were my friends, too. How do you think I felt having to issue that kind of command to take you out into that kind of territory?
Well, let's just make sure they don't die in vain.
I don't think you quite understand what is at stake here. Well, let's just say that you're it. We aren't getting any reinforcements. I actually just got the command in from main base. We don't have any more recruits to send here to the guerrilla encampment. You two are our last operatives on Mars.
That can't be true. We can't defend we can't defend this camp, much less the multiple camps we have.
Well, this wasn't about defending a long time ago, Hope. This was always been about strike, do as much damage as we can, buy time for the experiment to get completed.
And how's the experiment coming? Are we at any point going to leave this place then?
Well, you know that's classified information. I don't even get that kind of information.
Well, who does? So they're just leaving us here?
We have strict orders to buy as much time as possible by restricting their currently, I don't even know if you can call it reverse terraforming, agriculture, architecture. I don't even know what they're doing out there. They're clearly undoing the work that we've spent centuries putting into this planet.
You want to send us to fight the collectors?
No, you can't. The two of you can't go out there. You saw yourself, and we know that it's just a giant swarm of organic mass that eats other organic mass. I mean, you saw what happened to Saul. I mean, Saul was just 15 years ago. I mean, Jesus. I was trained there. Look, if we had more recruits coming, we could continue our operations here and try to beat these bugs back for as long as we can. And that's really the only reason we still have a skeleton crew here, was to support you and your squad. Now, I'm not saying that in order to place guilt or blame on you. All I'm saying is that without your squad, we really have no other purpose here.
Well, then let's get the hell out of here.
Right. That's really the next question. So, with your batteries, I think we should be able to take everybody off of the main exothermal life support that we currently have in place here and get them into medevacs and bring them up. But it's going to be dicey because, as you know, the political stability of us having a military presence here is dicey at best. If it looks like we have a guerrilla base of operations, they could take every single POW that they have right now on Earth and just build a skyscraper out of them. And
weren't there
Oh, we got
orders?
another year.
We got some time, didn't we?
We did, but again, that is them keeping a promise that they've never been good at keeping promises with us. Our point was to try to reduce their efforts through strike force tactics. In fact, we just got an order back up that we were supposed to scale up our strike force tactics with you. But now that we don't have anybody left, that option is not out the window. The only option we have now left is the experiment. At this stage...
Well, how can we help the experiment? We aren't scientists.
No, well, the scientists are the ones who are building it. But as far as I've learned, through all the propaganda reports and anything else, they just accept volunteers at this stage. You know? I mean, hell,
we don't even know when it's going to be ready. We're just supposed to stall as long as possible.
The project is nearly complete. That's all I know. From what my understanding was, the experiment...
And who are these volunteers? How do they select them?
I know that they take a wide walk, and that they've told that there's an extensive,
A vetting process? We've been through plenty of those.
well, that's true. There is a vetting process, and it's just like the astronauts back of old Earth. There's a certain amount of criteria that isn't necessarily specified. Obviously, peak physical condition, mental capability. But hell, even I tried out for it, and they turned me down, but probably because I'm too old.
You put yourself in...
Hell yeah. Any able-bodied human at this point would be willing to put their life on the line in order to beat those things back. And if they aren't a goddamn ape.
How come we were just now learning of this? Why weren't we alerted to volunteer ages ago?
You've known for a while now, but you've been more important here as a leader of our strike force tactics. I mean, geez, this is leave the brains to do what they're doing. Our job has always been to hit them where it hurts. And you see a woman who is, at this point, is tired of being quiet. Kind of comes up and puts a hand on his shoulder and goes, "Look, we can argue about this until our face is blue, but what's important now is to get the rest of our wounded into these medevacs and off the planet."
Here, take the batteries.
All right. Well, she takes some of the batteries and she sends him off with a runner onto this out to the main door. We don't have to leave immediately. We have to wait for the next sol in order to be able to get night cover as we leave out the dark side of the North Pole. So, I mean, we don't need to leave now, but we need to leave soon. If there's anything more you want to do before we take our small crew and head back to the asteroid, by all means do so. And don't be mad at Jameson. This is hard for him too. He got turned down through the initial experiment, and I don't know if you knew this, but he doesn't have to be... No, that's all right, Emily. I can say it myself. Look, Gen X started Mars. My great-great-great-great-grandfather was invested in this planet initially. We wanted to bring life to the new frontier. And it's been my duty, as well as all of the rest of my family's duty, to do something to make the human race great. And, well, it's just hard to see it go. I don't really want to leave here. And to be honest with you, and he looks towards Emily, who looks back to him, I don't plan on leaving. So you can take the transport and you can go, but I plan on doing one last mission here.
Do we know what's at stake for Mars? Like what's planning on happening? Like what is at stake? Like for Mars? Like what?
Is that just an item question?
Yeah, this is an outside. Yeah.
Okay. Mars was.
Let's see.
So just to kind of give you a little bit of the history of how the planet had, how kind of like these two celestial bodies kind of equate into each other, is that what could be considered our time when we started depleting resources like none other. We made a mad rush to colonize Mars. And we did it, and we did it successfully. And we poured so many resources into there that Mars actually became essentially the place to go to if you wanted to get up on the new technology and be in a new place. And it was a way for specialists to become even more specialized, and the best, maybe not the best artists or the best people who could bring culture to the world came out of Mars, but the best scientists, the best architects, the best everything came out of Mars. Engineers came out of Mars eventually. So it became like a technological hub for development for the human race. And as a result of that technology boom, we were able to get our shit back together on Earth. Okay. So we brought that technology back in order to basically bring Earth back from the point of destruction. So Mars, at least at this stage, is the ruins of a technological golden age. And there's nothing left inside of it. Earth which was once, the little blue gem in our solar system, is now, essentially captured. And they haven't stripped it the way they've stripped Mars, but they're starting with Mars. And the race that you're dealing with has been very secretive about how they're going through things because they communicate psychically. So you haven't really seen a lot of the practical applications of what these creatures are doing because they've been purposely keeping it secret. But, most people who see these creatures don't come back. You're one of the few in this Strike Force refugee camp who has actually seen the physical collectors and have been able to come back and tell the stories. Does that help make context a little bit better?
Yes. So,
I think so.
The alien race is trying to destroy Mars, and then our mission was to what is our mission? Is to fight them back.
Your
so they don't strip Mars?
general mission was like guerrilla strike and I'm trying to remember the term for it right now, but it's essentially strike and flee.
But to prevent more stripping of Mars, or
yeah, it was to make sure that you could reclaim vital resources out from underneath the aliens' noses, because at this point, through their very aggressive diplomacy, they've made it clear that anything that was on Mars is now theirs. So you've been essentially stripping the planet of anything and everything that you can get before it's consumed and turned into something that the human race can no longer use.
Okay, got it. Okay. So now we're abandoning. It seems like the only thing we can do is abandon.
Get the wounded out of here.
Get the wounded. So, I don't plan on leaving. Now, I commend you and your team for getting as much as we possibly can.
You can't stay here.
I can. I have every right to stay here.
That's suicide.
It's closure.
We've got
Look,
28
you don't
days
need
on.
me anymore. My whole life was here. I provided, I'm thinking of a good term for it. I wanted to say terabytes, but this is a lot more than terabytes of data at this point, at this stage. You have managed to salvage more data than we could have ever imagined. And because of that, some of what we've managed to accomplish here on Mars will be preserved. But so much of it is lost. And where am I going to go? To an asteroid? What am I going to do there? Nothing. Whatever was part of my legacy, you're taking with you. At least let the captain go down with his own ship. And don't think I'm just going to sit here and wait for them to come and take me. I've got one last trick up my sleeve.
That's nice to hear. But as much as I don't like you, Captain, and I think it's pretty clear that I don't, there are a few that can lead, and you've proven that you are a leader. And that is always useful, no matter what.
That's why you have to go, Hope, is because you have to lead the rest of our little ragtag group out. I've never been a fan of you either, but I think we can both clearly say that you have the skills to lead, which is why, if you don't mind me saying, I would like to submit you and your brother into consideration for the experiment. I think they could use 2 soldiers like you. From what I've heard, they have a lot of eggheads up there.
They'll get a couple more.
Well, I just think about it. I mean, I can't guarantee that you're going to get inside of there, but I think they should be so lucky to have 2 of you up in there.
Well, if everyone else is leaving and we can guarantee safety for them, then I'm not much of a quitter, and if there's one more fight left to fight, then you have my sneak cape.
Lucky to have 2 of you. Well, I don't think there's much of a guarantee with anything anymore, but the rest I can do my best. Emily puts her hand on her shoulders and goes, okay, I think that's enough.
As long as we can get everybody out of here first, I'll do whatever you want to do.
Okay.
We've got 28 friends that aren't leaving here either.
Right.
They're out there.
And all I can say is that one of the worst things about these creatures that we've learned is that there is no way to mourn our dead because they leave nothing for us. They don't leave nothing of our cities, they leave nothing of our friends, and they leave nothing for us to even mourn. Not even a planet.
I've got a question for Ivan.
Yes.
The collectors, so do we know where they're from?
Well, you don't actually know much more about them other than they're different than the creatures that Hector has been talking to, which are the representative leaders of this race, the Oryun.
But nobody's from Mars.
No one's from Mars. No.
We colonized it, now they want it. Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
They came out of deep space,
Mine?
outside of your long-range scanners, and just basically appeared on the doorstep. And it wasn't invasion; it was slaughter.
Captain. Is he captain?
Well,
Yeah.
president.
President. What is your last trick up your sleeve? May I ask?
Leave an old man to his secrets, if you please.
I have a feeling it's going to involve a large explosion. Just a hunch.
Look, I've got some preparations to make, and I know that you probably do too. So,
Go ahead and file our names if we have to go through you.
great. Thank you. I'll send them in with my next report. We will be leaving here at 0200. And
I guess I need a nap.
Well, he dismisses you. He gives you like a melancholy handshake.
Oh, one last
Melancholy.
thing, President. Will you be announcing our failure to the rest of the troops, or is that our job?
If you need me to take that responsibility, I will inform the rest of the base if you wish. Otherwise, it's your prerogative. It was your men.
Should we do it?
I think we owe it to them.
And to be fair, the rest of the base is primarily support staff, medical, armament, quartermasters. When he says that this base was basically built to maintain and supply you, he wasn't bullshitting you. Pretty much everyone here, you were the all-star basketball team, and they were the locker jockeys.
Yeah, I guess it'd be, if there's such a thing as more comforting, it would be more comforting coming out of our mouths than from some, no offense, fat cat.
No offense taken.
Some corporate suit.
Good luck to you all, and may God bless us all. He watches as he slowly walks out through a side door, dismissing himself out of the room. As
Right as he leaves, can I go, God abandoned us a long time ago?
sure. You see a couple of looks as you see Emily basically start to issue orders to the communications and surveillance team to start breaking down equipment. And you see they start taking apart anything that isn't bolted to the floor at this stage. All right, and with that, that will leave your
So we volunteered
Eureka.
as tribute?
What's that?
We did? We volunteered?
You volunteered.
All right.
Absolutely. Your names were submitted, and I think we can maybe assume pretty generously
They're going to take it.
that they took you up on your offer, but more on that later. I think that's an excellent segue.
I think it'd be
Awesome.
hilarious if we didn't make it, and then that was it.
The end.
if you didn't take it, yeah. Well, that breaks the
if we
timeline a
submitted and
little
you're like,
bit.
yeah. No, if we submitted and you're like, yeah, you know what, you guys didn't make it.
Yeah,
So
you
make
failed the
it.
role. I don't know.
Oh, well,
maintenance crew.
that's a whole other decision. Then we have a whole angle on which you could choose to just sneak your way into the experiment.
That's true.
So if you were presenting that choice to me, that would be my way to fix the timeline there. Let me know if that's something you actually want to do, because we can explore that.
Nah.
All right.
Yeah, not right.
Streamline it.
Yeah.
I like to do what the DM wants me to do.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, because we didn't follow your runaway kobold.
Twice.
How are we supposed to know?
I do not need this today.
I mean, it was funny.
That's a perfect segue for us, I think, to go to Santiago.
Santiago! Eureka!
I believe when we last left Santiago
In the past.
in the past, do you, just the same way that Amy kind of recapped her last Eureka moment, do you want to share with me what you remember? Or what you wrote down?
What I remember, I was looking for if I wrote it down in this book, and I guess I didn't. Somewhere else. But what I remember was that I had also volunteered for the experiment as a way to ensure that there would be success, because we were relying on the experiment, and that Santiago was like diplomatically dealing with the representatives of the alien race, the invading force or whatever.
The Oryun,
The
by the way.
Oryun.
Oryun.
The Oryun. Okay, I wrote that down incorrectly. Oryun.
And that's
Yeah.
really the best name that you have, because these other creatures, which you acknowledge them as kind of I don't know if a sub-race is a good term for it, but it's the closest that I've got. It's the sound that they make when they address these creatures.
The Oryun.
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't even have a name for the ones that guard them. Sorry, as you were saying.
No, that's it. I think that's pretty much all I remembered. And I had a female companion who was helping me, and I don't think I went under yet.
No, you didn't go under yet. She was your female companion. You could say she was your associate, or not. I do also believe there was one point that had mentioned that you had a pretty morose view before all of this had happened about what the human race was really contributing to the world. And that now you're in a position where it is based on your efforts that you will try to save it.
Yeah.
And your companion, for the record, has been well, do you want to tell me how she's involved with you, or do you want me to provide a suggestion?
Provide a suggestion, please, Ivan.
My suggestion, because you are an art dealer, is that you are her art dealer. She's an artist, and she was part of your Earth lifestyle, and somehow you two got stuck through some course of events that may be explained in a story later on. You got stuck as the official unified force of humans representation.
Wow.
Probably.
That happened.
Who knows? Probably because there was no one left who could do the job any better.
Oh, man.
You know.
Oh, jeez.
And when it comes down to an art dealer and an artist who ends up being the main representation for the human race, you have to know that the wheat got cut pretty short. So so direct like that Hector Santiago. Your Eureka moment is called training.
Wait, what was ours called?
Report.
Oh, we had to report.
Training. Your Eureka moment begins with, well, did I remember you actually arrived at the asteroid already, the last one, right? So you had a contingent of sycophants, highborn, not even highborn, just people who had a lot of money and were able to basically afford a ticket off Earth enough to be able to get over here. And unfortunately, they're just obsessed now with their survival. Though the fact that the most that they're contributing at this point is resources and manpower based off their ability to staff what is left of this great initiative called humanity. And you wake up in a room that's stainless steel. A beautiful twin bed. Beautiful twin bed. Beautiful, beautiful little twin bed. With plastic sheets and a small chime that appears to be going off over and over again. Bring, bring, bring. You reach over with kind of an automatic motion to turn off the alarm. And you sit up and you see that there's a red light and a coffee pot that seems to be now automatically brewing at the end of your small 10-foot by 10-foot room that you're currently encased in. There's also 2 small pills that appear after a small half dome curves out in the middle of your side table next to your bed. What would you like to do?
I'm going to, I'm feeling a bit off of my game today. I'm going to forego the coffee. I'm going to skip it, and I'm going to not take either of the pills that were presented to me. And instead, I'm going to look for a source of water. Is there a glass of water?
There's a sink and a set of essentially a full bath / kitchenette kind of set, almost like a bath kitchen counter that you would expect in like a studio apartment, since you are just in a small 10 by 10 room.
I'm going to wake up. I'm going to wash my face. I'm going to brush my teeth if there's a toothbrush there. I'm going to do the regular morning routine, change myself, put some clothes on, but I'm going to be drinking some water before I brush my teeth. I'm going to just drink some water.
Great. A few moments pass, and you start to see a red light that flashes to the side of your face. And you, without even thinking, say, "Lights on."
Lights
and a
on.
bright fluorescent light illuminates the room. And that's when you notice that you are in a, the bright white walls with silver accents and minimal furniture inside of your room. A few shelves and the side table, which I described earlier, that had the small amount of pills on it. You also see that the blinking red light, which was previously very, very imposing on your peripheral vision, is now a dimmer light and seems to be flashing over a intercom button with a small speaker attached to the door.
I'm going to go to there and press the button.
You have 1 new messages.
I'm going to listen to the message.
First message. Santiago, are you there? Oh, damn it, man. Do all of you trainees like to sleep in? I swear. You were supposed to be reporting in 15 minutes ago for your continued training. This is your first day of class. You don't want to be late. If you want to review the key card before you come in, but at 0100 hours, we'll be officially terminating you from the experiment. Get here as quick as you can.
Terminate? What time is it right now, Colonel? Where can I see
23:30 or 12:30. Oh, I'm sorry. That's if it's 0100 hours, it would be 0030. You have half an hour.
I see. Okay. I have half an hour. I don't know what time of day it is, but I have to go. I'm gonna head
Well,
there. I'm
00
already
it
dressed.
means that it would be midnight.
Yes.
So it's 12:30 at night at this stage. So you get dressed. Oh, I'm sorry. Are you?
I was already dressed. Yes.
You're already dressed. Yes. Actually, you weren't dressed, but now you get into a little zip-up, like solid piece suit. Nothing weird with that at the moment. And you grab your acrylic key card, and you go out through the door.
And I know where I'm going.
And you know where you're going. Yeah.
Go right there. Straight
Follow
there.
through.
For us watching, is this similar to what Trisha's was ages ago? Or like?
Stupidly similar.
Oh, okay.
The only difference for the people who are watching out there paying attention to the details is his suit didn't assault his body the way that Trish's did.
Oh man.
Now, do you remember that at all?
Yeah.
I wasn't there for that.
I don't remember
fucking-
that. That sounds inappropriate, but I don't remember
What happened?
It like latched onto her real fast.
Yeah.
It did. It essentially stuck thousands of hypodermic needles into her all at a single time.
Ah!
Yeah. So, it essentially gave her one giant acupuncture treatment in the span of a single second. So, yes, your suit does not do that. You're running down the halls and you pass several people in glistening white lab coats. The area is incredibly clean, incredibly stealthy. You go by and you see a couple of tinted windows, and you look to the side and you see a rack of servers that seem to be lit in bright flashing array, and it's familiar to you and you love looking at it every single time you go by this area. But this one in particular, there's no time for it. But you do notice, because it's hard not to at least not give it a glance, is that it cascades down in a amphitheater style format, in which just racks and racks of servers coming up onto it with a large central core in the center. And you do know yourself to be right above Project Thanatos at the moment. And right below you is the large induction bay. That
It's
is right
Project
below you.
Thanatos.
So you step into what appears to be a small classroom. Now, if any of you went to lecture in college, you'll probably recognize.
I did.
Yeah, good. Glad.
I was supposed to. I did.
It's essentially
Fell asleep.
similar. It's a lecture hall, a very small lecture hall though. It only has room for about 10 people. And even though you won't be talking to them in this, because talking is not allowed in the lecture hall, you recognize not only the 6 that you have been introduced to as part of this, but you see Hal, Hope, you see not Damien, you see wow, Ivan's losing the names of the people that he's played
Jade.
with in the past. Jade, of course. You also see Mr. Keller, who was
Mac?
Jim?
Sam.
Right.
Sam.
You also see Sam there as well too.
Sam's there.
And you see yourself as the 6. Right?
Wait, are you there, Eric? Is Erica there?
No.
And Damien's not there,
Damien's not there.
right?
Wait, what's your real character's name?
Yeah, you haven't found
We
that
haven't
yet.
Oh, we
found
don't
out.
know that yet.
No, yeah.
And Damien is there, but he comes in as the lecturing professor.
Oh my god! Just what I need, a lecture
my
from Damien.
As he comes in, and in his big, booming voice, and Nathaniel looks quite a lot like Damien. He's big, he's broad shoulders, he's well muscled, but his distinctive ability in this is that he also comes with a salt and peppered white beard, as well as
Oh my god, he needs to get on that.
Damien with a beard.
Damien with
Just
his
for men.
salt and pepper beard. That's amazing.
His head is still shaved, and he is in a glistening white lab coat, and you can see his badge has the gleaming red indicator lights that show that he has the highest security level inside of the facility at the moment. And you watch as he comes in, he takes his key card and slots it into the main projection screen, and you watch as a 3D array pulls up in front, and that motions all 6 of you to boop, 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 pop your own key cards in as your own virtual laptops come up, and your essentially hover over keypads begin to come in. It's a really, this is about the most state-of-the-art educational technology that was sent from Mars when Earth was at its absolute prime, and it's probably the last one that's around here. And he, you see Nathaniel come in and bring up the array and goes, All right, inductees. I just wanted to come in and briefly say thank you all for volunteering for this most pivotal mission. In fact, as we would say, the sake of humanity is at your fingertips. I will not be giving the full lecture for today. I will be leaving that to my project manager, as there is lots more work to do. I will just say, for your sake, that the project is being developed as we speak, with the day that it is ready will hopefully be your day, induction day. And right now, we have T-minus. What? How much left? Well, I'll let the project manager speak to it more. I'll be getting back to work. Thank you all, and good luck to all of you.
What is his name? What do we call him? Professor Nathaniel?
Professor... man, I have to remember what his last name was. I think he gave it to me.
I believe it was
Athoni. Athoni. Dr. Athoni. Nathaniel Athoni.
Athoni is a phony. I yell. I'm joking.
Bullying, you can't quit, huh? Athoni. And Athoni, you recognize him as one of the chief architects who was part of the University of Mars. And so he is a practicing professor there, but he is also the sponsoring scientist. His work was one of the very first to kind of help bring Mars back, or bring Earth back from the brink. So he actually, this is a little known fact that most people don't know about him, he is 160 years old.
Wow.
Yes. Through his own set of experimentations, he's managed to prolong his life past a century. To what cost, we may all ask ourselves. Anyway. Dr. Athoni leaves, and you watch as a smaller, mousy-looking man with brown hair, large glasses, and similar white coat comes in and speaks in surprising contrast to Dr. Athoni's large, booming voice. All right, now, inductees, I ask you all to place your key cards in as we will be going over the part of your training that is most vital. We have exactly 3 weeks before the project is completed, and I have 3 weeks to train all of you to become expert scientists, soldiers, diplomats, and, well, adventurers. And we don't have a lot of time. So, let's get down to the basics, shall we? He looks around the audience a little bit. Santiago.
yes.
Would you stand up and come to the front here, please? Now, Santiago, who are you?
I am many things, Doctor. I am a art dealer and as well as a diplomat, and my name is Santiago, and I am from the United States of America.
And one would undoubtedly say...
You should, like,
see you.
yeah, no one can see you.
Nope.
You should just kneel down, maybe.
And one would probably undoubtedly say that you are human, correct?
Yes.
Now, what is your definition of human, Santiago?
Perfect. Perfect.
That is an excellent question.
It is one that we've all been asking ourselves in these times.
I would have to say a human is a being that is biologically born of two human beings, and is comprised of usually 4 limbs, 2 eyes, 1 nose, 1 mouth, 2 ears, various shades of hair, tones
Yes.
and colors.
We all are very appropriate into what the physiological elements of being a human is.
Usually.
But what separates you from the beasts, Santiago? What makes you superior to our counterparts, these Oryun, who are suppressing us so? There is no wrong answer, but I want to know.
Compassion.
Compassion.
Yes.
Compassion comes from where?
From experience as well as nature. From a biological need to protect our young. But
Human nature.
yes.
Human nature is what makes us us. And as Santiago brings about, that is done through compassion, emotion, fear, hatred, all the things that make us us through our very own, well, emotions. And emotions come from your brain as well as your heart. Now, some would say they're chemical. Some would say that the soul is tied to our emotions. But we have learned that it is a mixture of both. Thanks to Dr. Othoni's brilliant collaborations, we have learned. Thank you. You may sit, Santiago.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
Now, through Dr. Othoni's brilliant observations and experiments, we have learned very recently that there is an unknown factor as well as the palpable chemical responses that we normally attune to: fear, hatred, compassion, love. That chemicals are only a part of it.
I reach over and I tap Hector and I give him a thumbs up. Or Santiago, I give him a thumbs up. Good job.
But there is another part to it too. A part that we don't know yet. But, again, thanks to Dr. Othoni, we have found the map that leads us to such a thing. Yes, we are nearing the discovery of the human soul, of what makes us different from just a senseless body of mass and flesh, as a pile of jumbled chemicals and pheromones that's out to reproduce and recreate until we no longer exist. The thing that gives us life. Now, mind you, not the beginning or the existence of life, but just life itself. And it is all in here. And the gateway is Project Thanatos. And you watch as he puts a large, essentially a digital pointer, as he puts it up, and he spreads down in a large cascading 3D model of what you remember being the large, as I described earlier, the large cylindrical, several story tall structure in the main silo area comes into view. And it begins rotating, and you can see the various Bacta induction tanks at the various bottom of it, and all of the various elements of it that just seem to create a presence and a gravity to this thing that is mind-boggling. It's a large version of GLaDOS. GLaDOS from Portal.
Oh, Gladys?
Without the articulating head.
Gotcha.
But it is essentially is a large, or if you play Doom, it is the giant supercomputer that is laid out in the middle of that as well too. That can run something, terabytes and terabytes and terabytes of calculations per second, and is super cooled through the efforts of the. In this circumstances, it was originally on Earth, and it was powered through exothermal generators that were powered inside of it. But now you're literally burning plasma at this stage that is contained and put into it. And there is this is stuff that the professor starts to explain. I'll actually get into it with him right now. Now, Project Thanatos was originally a concept that was built and put together up on Mars and was powered by its superheated core. Now, unfortunately, we've had to relocate all of Project Thanatos here. Now, Project Thanatos on the asteroid is unfortunately powered through pure plasma infusion inductions, and that will run its supercooling procedure, which will allow its CPU to process the jillions and jillions and jillions of processes as it does per
Googles.
second. What?
Googles.
Sure, Googles of it. Now, the problem, as we know, is that plasma is finite. So, on top of your 3-week training issue, we only have enough power to run Project Thanatos for, well, the best calculations we have at this stage, 4 days. 4 days to get you in and to get you out. Now, the good news is that the overclocking of its processors will be so high that seconds inside of the simulation will feel like hours. And as a result, hours will be days. So 4 days could be as much as 4 to 6 months inside of the simulation. And it will be your job to find the doorway to the human soul in that amount of time.
But Doctor,
Yes.
how will the proof of the existence of the soul be able to fight the Aryun, or what good is that going to do?
Good question. Now, he pulls up a dossier of several individuals. Do you know who these are? And you look at them, and it's pretty clear these are people who you're absolutely familiar with. These are some of the greatest freedom fighters to have come out of the name of the Aryun in the fight against the Aryun in the last several years. And the reason that they were such celebrated freedom fighters is because they exhibited a resistance to the Aryun's mind control and a power over not only their physical mentality themselves, but also their connection with this lesser race that they seem to exhibit. They seem to be essentially a large aura of focused energy that can disrupt these creatures in a strong and attuned way. And you know this, and he explains it as he lays it out to you. Now, this all came about through the study of these 4 individuals, who we understand were the greatest efforts that mankind had in the first resistance against the Aryun. If we had 4 or even 40 of these men and women, we could have pushed the creatures back. However, all their lives were taken. But not before we found a connection between all of them. And he pulls back to another screen and pulls up their medical records. Now, the key in this is that each one, and he points unto them individually, has had a traumatic near-death experience and came back to life as a result of nearly insurmountable odds as far as medical technology goes. And this is when he pulls up a large chemical analysis of 2 very distinct proteins that are now spiraling in the midst of the displays in front of you. You watch them pop up, and you can see the atomized structure of each one of them. Now, can anyone tell me what these 2 chemicals are? And you look at them, and I can't expect you to answer that. It'd be fun if you knew what it was, just for the purposes of it. But I'll tell you.
Helium and plutonium.
No. Well, is anyone amongst the 4 of you actually have any biological experiences?
TACG.
TACG.
THC.
I don't think any of you would have any real chemical knowledge inside of it, so I will just say it for you. I don't expect any of you to have any chemical background, but this here is serotonin, and this is dimethyltryptamine. Now, these two together create both happiness, and dimethyltryptamine is an actual is a trace chemical that is found when death is at a man or a woman's doorstep.
Oh, wow.
DMT.
DMT.
The light flashing before your eyes.
Yes. Exactly. Now, we haven't known much about dimethyltryptamine at this stage. Only that it is produced by the brain when it is near death. But we have recently tied it into the body's natural production of serotonin and have found that if the body can produce dimethyltryptamine in not trace elements, we actually unlock a greater part of our functioning brain. And at this point you can see a graph had been pulled up of portions of the brain, which has been known through medical science to be the active part of what we use in our brain, now fills into completion with the trace elements of dimethyltryptamine come up. Our 4 subjects here had large, one would say, visible increases of dimethyltryptamine inside of their brain that was mixing surreptitiously with serotonin during moments in which they were using their minds in order to fight against the Oriune. Yes, mind control. We have the capabilities as humans to unlock our brain, and the door to that is death. But most of us never make it back through that door. But you ate. You will. And it will be with Project Thanatos. And we're going to cut that.
Wait. Rehash. So we're gonna attack them. We're gonna go and what are we do? We're gonna attack them with our minds. Once we've found the source of a human soul, or what a human soul is, we're gonna take that technology, whatever it is, and basically focus it to like laser beam the fuck out of them with our minds.
In layman's terms, yes, Amy. Laser beam the fuck out of them. Sure.
Laser beam the fuck out of them.
We're fighting them with love and compassion.
No, with laser beams from our brains.
Freaking laser
You said it yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stick to your original.
Oh my God.
Stick to your gut.
So
Go with your gut.
But other people died trying to do this.
No, people died when they died.
No,
When people die, it turns out that
no,
they
we
died.
could have. But I feel like we could have defeated them before.
This is not clear to you. As far as you're concerned, you're the first people to try.
But there were people that died before. You said
Because they were killed by the aliens.
But if there were more that we could have.
Yes.
Because
After they died,
They were all a coincidence. These 4,
Mm-hmm.
they were just 4 people who were tied through a seemingly unknown bond, and then Dr. Othoni managed to find the hidden link between all of them.
They'd all had a near-death experience, which unlocked something in them to give them heightened mental powers to be able to fight
The Oriune.
But they didn't fight them.
They fought
They did.
and died.
They fought them,
and died.
and they did amazing things, but then they died. So this experiment, you can presume with the information that you've been given, is meant to artificially unlock that latent abilities.
In everybody.
First
many
in
people
you,
as possible.
but then in everybody.
So the human race could go, hey, leave all of us alone, and we all have mental powers.
So
Bye.
it's not gonna. It's not sense 8. It's sense 8 billion. Cool.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Any questions so
Yep.
far?
Makes sense 8.
No, I mean, I have my theories.
Well, before we get into our last one, do you want to share your theories?
Yeah.
I mean, should I?
Yeah, dude.
I don't mind.
Do you care? Because I don't want it to be like a spoiler.
Oh, because you're gonna be so dead on correct.
No, but what if I'm partially correct?
I have so much in my brain that I'm sharing, and I've unloaded a lot of it on here, but I still have a lot of secrets still left. I would love to hear what you come up with.
Yeah, do it, Jason.
Okay, so what's happening is these Eureka moments all my theory is that these Eureka moments are all taking place before we jumped into World of Darkness, the first episode of officially ForeverVerse.
Yeah.
And that when we volunteer for the experiment that takes 4 days but feels like 6 months, that experiment will be all of the adventures that we have had in
But what about our life before?
Embodying other bodies.
Yeah.
And then when we make it to the final adventure, whatever it is, then the experiment will be over, and we either will die or we'll have found the secret of the soul that we will then we will flash forward to where present day against the Urhun, and we will use that power of the soul to send them packing.
But what about where on the timeline is like you and me being brother and sister with like a band?
Before this, like we could either before it or in it. Like maybe.
Well, which one's real? Are we?
I don't know. I don't know. But okay, if we did that theory, like let's say it's the future fighting the Uryun is what's real, and when we jump into the experiment, maybe part of that is when we're brother and sister living in New York in a band. We're brother and sister fighting the Uryun.
Yeah.
But maybe that was just like an illusion or like a flash of something.
Yeah.
Turns out you guys are husband and wife, and you love each other very much. Turns out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Turns out you guys kiss on the mouth all the time. So. Yeah.
There's also one minor detail that I think is important to point out, is that I did initially say 8 of you in that room.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right. No, you said 10.
But you said Keller was in the room too.
Yeah, you said 8.
But he said Keller was in the room.
People.
You said it was a room big enough for 10, but yeah, there were 8
that
of
are
us.
unaccounted for.
Yep.
Right.
That you did not recognize.
But did we recognize Santiago?
Recognize Santiago, and you recognize Trish as Jade.
Mm-hmm.
And you recognize Keller as Sam.
And then it's you and you. So that's 5 of us.
But there's 3 that are unaccounted for.
Individuals in that
but
room.
we don't know.
Because Nathaniel
is the professor.
Right? So we'll see him as well.
Yeah.
But 3 people that are missing.
But we recognize Nathaniel?
You recognize Nathaniel.
But we don't.
I noticed Erica was like laughing at my theory because she knows something that I don't.
Do you?
I don't. I really couldn't say.
I was laughing at the Twitch chat.
Yeah. Chad is.
What are they saying?
Chad is theorizing. Do you want to know my favorite theory?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that this is all a dream that Dick and John said around.
That's a good one.
Too advanced.
That's amazing.
Too advanced of a dream.
Okay.
Or it could
That's
be a
my
dream.
headcanon now.
Could be a dream that Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Man, Dick and Johnson, you got some vivid imagination, son.
Oh, they do.
Too
Yeah.
advanced. Not possible.
But yeah, that's the last detail I just wanted to point out. There's 3 that are still unaccounted
That'll be
for.
season finales. It bleeds into Dick and Johnson. They're going, what a crazy
No,
dream!
I think you're right. I'm just curious.
There's loose ends.
Yeah, there are loose ends that I'm so curious
False
about.
memories were implanted in our brains.
But I remember that first episode and it being like that's all we knew.
Do you? Because did you know that the furthest back a person can remember is 8 years? And everything before then, like...
Are just flashes of things? Or they're wrong.
Yeah.
Wait, what the... No.
Which?
Yeah, look it up.
Which is it?
Look it
No,
up.
because I remember things before...
Do you?
Yeah.
Are you sure that they happened? Or is it just stories that you continue to tell until a memory
I mean, I don't know if it's stories, but I mean, whatever. I people for sure.
This is all deeply uncomfortable.
I don't mean stories, whatever.
I mean, like, I don't know if it's like fly by night. This is true story, but like people, I remember. I remember their faces, and I remember things I did with them.
We can leave.
But you remember collected stories that you both told each other.
You can leave your deep metaphysical.
I'm just saying that
Jason's mind is being blown.
Like, okay, well, hold on, because in our first thing when we were 2017 people or 2016 people, we did encounter those Badger boys, with
Badger boys.
with DK.
Yeah, I mean, there's
with
plenty
DK
of
and Y.
details in between. I mean, my theory, you can shoot holes in it all day long, but I think there's got to be some truth to it.
There's something called a glitch. There's glitches in the program, ghosts in the machine, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
So it would stand to reason that when we're in a program, and then we hop to another program, the little remnants bleed over, little Badger boys, if you will, and that's why we might be seeing glitches.
So you think that the real thing is alien land? You don't know.
Amy, how do you know you're not in alien land right now?
You're deep.
Yeah, laugh uncomfortably.
No, because if you become self-aware because if we become self-aware in alien land, the aliens will come and eat us. So even if I thought I was in alien land, I would still pretend that I wasn't.
That's
so
smart.
And then you would be like people who wander around with tinfoil hats on their head, not ever admitting that there is a greater truth out there, but not being able to deal with the truth of it.
My hat is lined in tinfoil.
That's why you always wear a hat. Oh my god.
That's why you always wear a hat. Oh no!
They are all lined in tinfoil.
Is there any more theories anyone would like to throw out before we move on to our last Eureka moment?
I have a theory that Amy's behind it all.
Jesus Christ. I do have an alien. This is a real quick alien
You do have
story.
an alien?
In college, in the green room, in like around an audition, or you have lots of auditions, or and there was a guy who was bummed out, and he was like, God, I can't believe it. I never get cast as a real person. I'm always cast as like the character actor or something. I'm never cast as a real person. It's like they don't even see me as a real person. And I go, oh my God, Bernie, like I think you're a real person. And he just goes, great, the alien thinks I'm a real person. So
mean.
No, wow. We were all. I mean, that's why I'm here. Is like I was a weirdo.
Amy, are you sure you went to college?
Oh God.
How far back is that? Do you remember?
It was over. I guess I graduated. Yeah, over 10 years ago.
What do you remember? Pictures of a quad in a book.
Nobody took pictures of that quad.
I have weird memories. I have memories of the cafeteria in odd ways.
Oh, yeah.
Just sitting in line and getting my meal.
They had some great food in our cafeteria.
EUREKA.
Where did you go to?
EUREKA, we're gonna learn some stuff right now.
Oh shit.
EUREKA's. Oh, by the way, Hector, I should probably tell you, Carradine Davis. That's a special thanks to Carradine Davis.
Oh, thank you so much.
Who made your Eureka moment happen.
Thank you.
And then, EUREKA, yours is brought to us by Basic Viking.
Wow, thank you, Basic Viking.
Basic Viking.
Hail
Basor. Hail
Basor.
It's very basic.
All praise the Uggs.
Bringer of the Uggs. Oh, EUREKA. Or as we like to call her.
Oh yeah.
Stand by.
Oh yeah, we're gonna find it out right now.
I have to make sure I didn't do it incorrectly, and I didn't write it on my initial notes here, so let me just push it up. You are... There we go. Or as we like to call...
Just ask her.
No, I know what her is. It's,
Prove it.
I do.
Do you know my name?
Do I know your name?
I know. You got me a bit paranoid.
I'm gonna pull it up. Oh man. Did I write it? Shit. Where is it?
Just ask her. I'll do it. EUREKA, what's your name?
Am I allowed to answer?
Well, he's got to find
Let's
a note
actually end with your name.
Okay.
I think that's more fun.
Whoa!
Annoying town. We're in alien land and an annoying town.
All right. And if you would like, this is your name for when we get there.
Oh wait, did you not know either?
Great. Erica, your
What is that? Okay, all right.
your story, and really, it's the first thing you remember. The very first thing you remember is darkness. Black, penetrating, all-encompassing darkness. And a single speck of light that flashes into the far distance. And even though in your vision you see it like a blinking star several hundreds of thousands of miles away, at the same time you can see clearly in your mind the portrait, the portal that is inside of that blinking light. And if your consciousness were to extend from where you are now all the way to the center of that blinking light, it would take a millisecond to go from there and back. And in that span, you would see a city, a large, open city around a massive moat, dirt moat that is barren on each side, a bridge that expands from a large, lush forest into the city. And you can see the city is in flames. You can see smoke rising from its towers as you hear the sounds of screams and yelling and the smell of flesh and burning and smoke, which is the first time you've been able to process and absorb these senses into your mind. And you can see a lone figure standing on the bridge, prostrate in front of a smaller figure that is right in front of it. And you can hear the screams of somebody dying before it all disappears out of your mind and you are left with the blackness again. And it's at that moment you look down and you can see your hands. It's the first time you really realize that you have hands. And you look down at them, and right now they have a mouse-like quality to them. They almost seem like paws, like small rat's hands, but only for a brief time. And then they slowly start to amalgamate and morph and change into something else. What do they change into?
The small girl's hands.
Small girl's
They're
hands.
small girl's hands. I can see them.
And then what else do they become?
I don't remember, but I remember that they are weathered by the sea.
They're old. They're wrinkled.
They smell of salt.
And dirt and earth. And in this span of a moment, which seems like an eternity, you stand and reflect on this space that you're in. Just one question comes into your mind. Who am I? Before you can answer that question, in the darkness, you see another light, another star that speckles ever so brightly, and yet dimly. Oh, a bit of a contradiction.
Brightly,
It
yet
speckles
dimly.
ever so dimly in the midst of the darkness. And you feel this disconnect, as if something just took a cord and then just chopped it with a machete, leaving you with nothing. As if you were just birthed and someone cut the umbilical cord, severing you from the thing that was previously your entire existence. And you're terrified. What do you do?
I collapse to the ground screaming.
You scream. And you can hear the sound of your own voice for the first time. A wailing, a keening that seems to change pitch at will, however you want it. And you can feel something getting closer to you, as if something heard you and is now looking for you.
I wrap my arms around myself and I hug myself, and for the first time I feel my body beneath my hands, and I'm aware of being available in a space for the first time.
Right?
And I can feel something coming, and I'm frightened, but I'm still too caught up in the moment of being here.
Anything else?
I call out, "Who am I?"
Who am I? And you hear a deep, beckoning laugh return the question. You were mine, but now you've been cut away, little bird. So, you must die.
What?
And you see the dark red speckle that's off to a distance, and your consciousness sends itself all the way back the same way that initial star did, and you can see something crawling through that hole. It looks robed and has a hunched over look upon it, and its face is clouded in shadow. But as it picks itself up through the portal, pushing itself into this blackened void, you watch as the cloak dematerializes into nothing, and there's simply a glassy black shape standing in front of you, and a set of red dots line it from the top of its head all the way down to the side of its legs, to the bottom of its feet. And you watch as it clasps its hands together, and a large red light rings out, expanding itself through the void as its piercing, cutting light heads straight toward you.
I hold up my hand, and for the first time I can see what it looks like. In this blackness, suddenly it is also made of the same blackness, but it is rimmed with silver light. And I say, "No, I know you now."
You watch as the red light arcs in a split-second light speed as it comes into contact with your hand, and you can feel it hit against your palm as a searing pain erupts inside of your hand, and it ripples and creates new ripples as it makes contact with your hand and parses out into different directions. But it goes no further than the front of your hand, and you see as its arc bends around you like a water hitting a rock against a stream.
I cry out, but I hold fast.
The wave leaves just as quickly as it comes in, and you look at your hand, and you're amazed to see that you have no fingers. And your hand was cut in half. and you look at it and you see on the inside there's no blood. There is no bone, there is no muscle. There is nothing to suggest that you were even hurt. It's just simply a flat line of skin that's now covering it. And you can feel your body start to take those points and rebuild it ever so slowly. And oh, is it uncomfortable, the rebuilding.
I watch tiny points of light appear once again into the shape of a hand.
And they're silver.
And it feels familiar. This has happened before, many times.
Many times. And you watch as you see your hands slowly start to regenerate and come in front of you. You see a couple of amalgamous black shapes start to come out of the void, and you see these, they seem to just be shapeless shadows that are plunging out from nowhere, it seems like. And you see a, how do I best describe this? How do I wish to describe this is really the question. How to best tell you what they are. Got it. As you watch these shapeless voids kind of come up, you see the blackness is parted ever so briefly amongst it, and the black void appears to be gone, and you can see a streamline of green code lift itself up, pieces and pieces of data that seem to be forming almost like bones that this blackness is then ripped around, and you can distinctly see in that line of code, because in this place you are ever observant and you can notice anything that is there at all times, that consistently throughout the readings you see the distinct 4-letter acronym of BD and Y as it lines up all across it as the black forms begin to mesh around this form, and they start sulking after you, their arms reaching out, black ooze dripping as it starts to find something to hold on to as more bone code, source code, you could say, start to form around it. What do you do?
I back away.
You back away. You're keeping pace with them, but they seem to be getting more and more solid as you see they turn into a bunch of skater kids in front of you. Weird looking skater kids with their skateboards and their bright green mohawks and their rollerblades, and they chase after you as fast as they can. They go out into a full bolt run.
I extend my hand, and points of light shoot out from my fingertips.
And these points of light, as they come out, you watch them curl into nothing, and they start to form the shape of something, something to defend yourself with. What is it?
It's a disc.
It's a disc.
Single disc.
Okay.
The Tron disc?
It wraps around
God damn
my
it.
arm.
Disc Tron!
No,
All right.
it's not a ring,
Yeah.
but a disc.
A disc. Okay. What do you do with it?
And I hold it to defend myself.
Watch as one of them lifts their skateboard up and tries to crack it over the side of your head, and you lift the disc up and you watch it shatter into source code, into nothing as it splinters out into the darkness.
I
As he
parry.
holds it up, as another guy comes to the side of you, trying to strike you from the side with his pipe wrench.
I bash the shield into his face.
You crack the side of it against the side, and you watch as you sever the top of his head, and it flies out into nothing. as the code dissipates into nothing.
And as I do, I scream at him, "Where is he?"
You watch as blackness begins to kind of form around it, and you watch as more green matrix-like code begins to form around, and suddenly you're in the streets of New York, and you see as cars start to coming around, and you can hear honking as a bumper backs into you of a car, splailing you down to the front of a taxi, and you hear a guy go, "Hey, what are you doing? Get out of the road!"
I fall to the ground and I feel the wet asphalt underneath my hand. And I look at it and I'm no longer lines of points of light. I have hands, human hands.
Yeah. What'd the disc turn into?
I pick myself up and the disc has become a briefcase.
Great. So you grab the briefcase.
Is this the Dark Tower? Is that what just happened? Did you just Dark Tower us? Cool.
You grab the briefcase and you run down the streets of New York City with the skater kids, with 3 that are still there, still chasing after you. And you hear one of them yell towards you and go, "Oh, I don't know where he is. How about I take him to you, huh, lady? Come on, come play with us."
I'm never going back. He knows that.
"Yeah, he does, but he misses you." And you start running as you start chasing through the street. You knock people over left and right as you are pushing through the streets of New York, attempting to get anywhere and anywhere away from them. How do you want to lose them?
I duck into a farmer's market.
All right.
I start.
Now I'm going to roll for you, but I'm just going to get into it. Since I feel like there's some die rolls.
Yeah.
Okay. You duck into the farmer's market, and you can see there's a large crowd of people, but it's an open farmer's market. It's very dense with the pre-dinner rush of people collecting food to go, and it seems to be very crowded. And as you push yourself through, you are definitely lost, or you're definitely making headway into the large crowd, but the 3 skater punks behind you are attempting to push and move, and they can see through the heads of people getting shoved left to right where you are as they start to make their way into the farmer's market to chase you as well.
I kick over a fruit cart.
Fuck yeah, you kick over a fruit cart. No, you don't kick over a fruit cart. You attempt to kick over a fruit cart, and instead you start getting the hard switch of a Thai man who is currently operating the food cart as he's beating you with his birch switch as hard as he can, going, "No, don't hit my carts!" as he keeps hitting you over and over again. The pain is so overwhelming that you reflexively put your hands up as he continues to hit your arm over and over again.
Jesus.
As you start to move your way back into the crowd again. And you see the 3 guys are starting to gain on you. In fact, they're getting closer as they start getting into less and less dense areas of the food cart. But you can see that the end of the mart isn't too far away, and there's a couple of stores that you could easily duck into. A couple of them are, well, how do I say this? Cabinets of curiosities, so to speak, as well as so many other things. What do you want to do?
I vault over one of the tables in front of one of the curiosity stores.
To go into the
roll
curiosity
under
stores?
the table.
So you want to head into a curiosity
Yes.
cabinet and then vault under a table?
Yes.
All right, so... right.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a gremlin in the store?
All right, you vault over the cabinet of curiosities front door, which has a lot of various dollar amenities, Chinese finger traps, tiny little pewter figures, so much incense that one person couldn't possibly buy all of it, but they do. And you slide yourself in, and you find yourself in a very tightly packed yet extremely empty little cabinet store. And there are glass and jade figures in glass cabinets, and you see as prayer flags are dangling down from the top of roofs, and you can actually see a couple of gilded swords and the painting of a very regal looking bulldog that's in a full set of armor, standing a heroic warrior stance over a fireplace.
He looks familiar. Somehow.
You slide under one of the cabinets and feel as the little kind of footsies, little skirt
Tassels?
footsies, tassels. Thank you, tassels.
Tassels?
Lay in front of you, and you get down there even before the man who is currently operating the shop even sees that you're there. And you wait.
I catch my breath for a moment, and in the meantime, I look at myself. My right hand is scraped up from where it hit the asphalt when the cab backed into me. I'm just wearing street clothes, a leather jacket, jeans. I have a briefcase instead of my shield of light. And I remember the malignant presence, the darkness and the red. And I know him. It's Thanatos.
Yep, that's his name. So you watch as the skaters ting, 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 come into the door, and you hear a heated conversation with them yelling at the old man. Hey, did some girl come in here? The man speaks back, not in English. He just starts yelling at him in Cantonese as loud as he can over and over again. As the man goes, all right, hey. You see a girl, you tell us. And he watches, he smashes a window, grabs something out from one of the cabinets and goes, or there's going to be even more trouble, as you watch them walk out of the main door.
I breathe a sigh of relief, and I wait. Another 1 minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes go by, and I peek out from under the table.
As you peek out from underneath, you don't have a lot of movement, but you look towards the door, and and you vaguely see one of the skater boys seems to just be standing guard, just looking around like a loitering sentry hanging out in the midst of your little this little Asian market that you found yourself in, that's still bustling with people, but less dense now as it was when you first barged your way through.
Is his back to me?
His back's to you, but he is constantly looking over each shoulder, checking, smoking a cigarette.
I sneak up behind him.
Okay, and?
I bring the briefcase down hard on the top of his head.
Whack him! Okay, as hard as you can. He stumbles down as he hits the pavement as hard as he can. And where do you go?
I take off sprinting. I come back the way that I came.
And you sprint through the crowd as much as you can, and you bolt through back into the streets of New York City, and you start to blend in with the crowd as much as you can. And at the moment, you feel like you probably lost them. But that ever-presence feeling of that dark thing is always there, standing in the back of your head, just plaguing you, as even though the cord's been cut, you feel like something of it is still with you in some part. And that is when blackness overcomes you. And just as quickly as the blackness overcomes you, you see 4, 5 little lights. And something about those lights feels comforting and safe and purposeful. And using that same kind of connection I talked about earlier, where you just hop in and hop out, you see several scenes in front of you. You see a ship, or you see a battlefield in which there's stuff laid out in front of you, and more artillery shells bombard the floor and the ground in front of you, and a small cottage that seems to be stuck in the middle of the French hillside. And then you see one next to that, a lighthouse in which the sea is laid out in front of you. And then finally you look out and there's a tiny, small cottage that seems to be burning. It's in flames. And you see a rabbit. And you see a dog. And you see a dude. And you see a fox laid out in front of you. And you notice that the perspective that you're looking through in this tiny little hole is through the rabbit's perspective. What do you do?
I whisper to myself, I have to help them. That is who I am.
And you climb through the hole, and you feel it close behind you as you find yourself in the body of this rabbit. What is your name?
I am Friend.
What?
All right, that's it. We're done. That's
Nice.
our 4 Eureka moment, or 3 Eureka moments for the 4 of
Are you
you.
a robot?
As we thank you, yes, to our 4 or our 3, our 4 wonderful contributors: Chaotic Looney, Carradine Davis, Critter Nation, Basic Viking. We appreciate you contributing to these little insights into what the hell is going on in the ForeverVerse.
Are you a robot?
Is that what you got from that?
Like an android, like a. Yeah, like
I
she
didn't
was
necessarily
plugged
get
in.
that. I got.
What did you get?
I got maybe you're an alien, or maybe you're some sort of changeling or something. Not necessarily a robot.
Well, she was definitely plugged in to something.
What do you
Yeah,
think,
but I
Hector?
mean that-
Do you want to contribute?
Yeah, definitely an errant code that broke off from the main programming.
Okay.
The guise of this being called Thanatos that is supposed to stop us and what we're supposed to overcome. Now I'm realizing Thanatos represents human limitation and all that entails. And once we overcome that, then we will know the secret to life and the soul and
Life, the universe, and everything.
everything. But Thanatos has been programmed to stop us at every turn, to represent human limitation. And guess what happened? There's an errant code that broke off. Sometimes, as happens, you program something and then like a glitch happens and then the program wants to do the opposite of what you've programmed it to do.
Right.
And that's Friend. Because it's been so hardwired into this program to be like, stop our adventurers, stop the heroes, stop the people from trying to figure out the secrets of the soul, that this little thing broke off and became a good guy.
Nice.
That's what I think.
So we have
I
alien,
can't stop smiling. So I think we're close.
alien, shapeshifter, and errant code. Those are all great theories.
Or a ghost.
Or ghost.
Or a robot.
Or robot.
I think a ghost could be possible.
Ghost, robot, shapeshifter, even.
Hell yeah.
Or, fuck it, I'll say it. A fairy. Could be a fairy.
The Fae. Right.
Fae. A
Totally
fae
be
that
a
finds
fae.
its way into the program.
Yeah.
Like Erica's character was one of the 3 people in the room that we didn't know, but like secretly they were harboring a secret. I'm a fae, I'm a fairy, and then they snuck onto the program and they pull fairy shit. Or a character from a Stephen King novel that is able to access our world through the Dark Tower.
Yeah.
And is just messing with our game.
I have a confession.
Yeah, it's Dark Tower.
I've never read The Dark.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Yet.
Well, it
Yes.
seems like you're on the path.
But you know
to
what though? The point
rewriting
of the
it.
Dark Tower is that you have.
Oh, I see.
I think, I don't know, I'm not an expert.
You had me though.
Yeah.
I actually, honestly, I know we usually go until 6, but to be fair, I don't have any more. That's
Hey,
what I've got.
by the way,
That's
kick-ass job, dude.
Yeah.
This was his imagination
Just
for like
pure
2+
storytelling.
hours. It's just you.
Yeah.
Just telling us. We had a couple of minor things to say,
Yeah.
but I mean, that like
The world building,
Kick-ass,
everything.
man.
Yeah, had nothing.
Great job.
Well, I'm glad it was entertaining because I always feel a little bad that these Eureka moments aren't very interactive on your
Yeah,
side
but,
of things.
But in your brain, they're interactive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
my brain was interacting.
Yeah, my brain was
I was
interactive.
listening to all of y'all's and I was like closing my eyes and getting into it.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like
really
I like
it.
imagination time.
It's imagination time.
Imagination.
Time.
Great. Well, I am always interested in hearing what you guys have to say more. We have a lot more Eureka moments left.
How many?
Man. Let me tell you. Talk amongst yourselves while I check.
So wait,
Talk
are you not going to
amongst
tell us what?
I
She's
don't
not
think I'm
gonna
allowed
tell
to
us.
tell. I mean, I've got more.
tell him.
she ain't gonna
I've got
tell
more
us.
Eureka moments, but it sounds like you guys already have your theories.
I mean, I don't know though. Like I
got another theory.
know.
The love child of Neo and Trinity.
Yeah, which
there's-
when he was
this-
talking about the code.
This woman
flying-
can just like break the world.
We have another 10 Eureka moments.
What? Holy
Cool, that's
Jesus!
like-
Who's got what?
We can do one an episode.
Yeah, we could.
That's amazing.
So here's actually. I apologize that we had 8 because I did not include. I took 2 off the reviews. We had 8 left, but of those 8, those are 8 people. Thomas W.D. Young contributed 6.
Wow.
Dang,
Thomas.
What up,
Thank
Thomas?
you.
Thomas
the one-
W.D. Young contributed 6, and he literally just said everyone, 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 everyone.
Wow.
Thomas is so
Who are we
frustrated.
to let
He's
Thomas
watching
down?
at home and he's like, I want some fucking answers. Eureka moment, Eureka moment, Eureka moment.
I'm just spending those Revlo
Thomas,
points.
tweet at us your theories. We want to know your theories.
Yeah, because he spent 40k Revlo points a pop.
At this point, Thomas, we'll just do whatever you say.
Yeah. We will just private message
Thomas
you all the
show.
information.
It'll just be that.
Well, each one of you individually know enough about your own world, enough that you could even have a conversation with Thomas about, hey, what should I explore in my
Yeah,
Eureka
no
moment?
shit.
And you're so dark and mysterious right now.
Oh, am I?
Chad asked
got-
if you were on your way to a boxing match after this.
I got cold.
All right, listen.
I got cold. and
Jab
then-
with the left. Jab with the left.
This is like the covering your head is the fastest way to get warm. Guess what? I'm still cold, but it's
Yeah, it's really
No, it's
chilly
not. You
in
have to
here.
rub your chest.
Yeah,
That's
get,
what Liam Neeson said in Batman Begins. You rub your chest and the arms will follow. But that's not true. That's fake. Don't do that.
I mean,
Don't
I mean,
Stop doing that, Amy. It's the internet. Stop it. Stop doing it.
I know. I'm like, I've got some barriers. They won't let me
been
rub my
broken.
chest where everyone wants me to.
well, internet. So I'm glad you watched all of 2.5 hours just to get to that little moment right there. But
There's a guy somewhere. There's a guy going. It's worth it.
You just had another nickname for boobies. Barriers.
Text us, tweet us, social us all of your theories now that there is a plethora of information out thanks to all of you, our amazing members of chat. Which
Oh, is Johnny there or Jimmy? Is Jimmy in the room with us?
Jimmy was not in the room with you.
Oh, well,
Yeah,
thanks
but
for telling us
do you
that.
swear to
Actually,
celestial
you don't even because
sanitary?
to be fair, you really there's 3 people who are unaccounted for. Any one of those 3 people could have been Jimmy. You really don't know.
Right.
Wait, I have a question.
We are going to finish off Puppet Land with another Eureka moment. We have one more episode of Puppet Land left, and then we'll be moving on to our next system, which is Eclipse Phase, and that is from Posthuman Studios, and it is a transhuman survival horror RPG. We're going from extreme storytelling to extreme game mechanics.
Crunchy, crunchy, crunch.
And it's a coincidence because I used to be signed to Post-Human Records.
Oh, really?
Cool.
Yeah, that was the name of Marilyn Manson's record label.
Oh, that makes sense.
And I
Yeah.
used to work in post-production.
It's all coming together.
Hey guys, that's the tie. That's the secret tie into all of this. Yeah, Post-Human Studios, Clips Phase. You can go check it out. It's published, I believe, through Post-Human Studios. They were through PSI for a while, but I don't think they are anymore. Check it out. We'll be getting copies to all of us, if we don't have them now already. I'll be getting them to everyone else. And we may do character creation on a separate stream, maybe on my personal one, since we will be jumping into the adventure straight off and away. But stick around and make sure that you're staying tuned for if we go and do that.
That'll be fun.
That will be fun.
Yeah. All right, Internet. Have a wonderful day.
Wait.
And Jason has an announcement.
Yeah, I'm not going to be here next week
That's
because
right.
I'm flying to Washington, D.C. on
Right.
Thursday. So
Are you fighting the good fight?
Fighting the good fight. And the only reason I wouldn't even that I can't Skype in is I will be on a plane
Right, during that time.
during the time.
Which is important because what Jason really wants to tell you is that he's breaking his perfect attendance record.
I know. This is the first episode I'm ever gonna miss.
You go tell those
Crazy.
politicians to get their shit together.
I will.
Us, Jason.
If you live in that area, Thursday the 18th, I'm playing a free show,
Cool.
a free acoustic show at Open Road in Falls Church, Virginia. And then the real reason I'm flying there is I'm playing a telethon on Saturday the 20th for the charity Right Care, and that will be broadcast on the web, and I'll post
Link it out.
where to go.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
Well, I'm sorry you're gonna miss it. I'm sorry you're gonna miss my birthday.
I know. I'm gonna miss IvanCon.
IvanCon 2018.
You should play Ivanhoe, the movie Ivanhoe,
Yeah,
during IvanCon.
that'd be great. I like
It's a.
I'll just buy the rights real quick.
swashbuckler one.
I like a good.
What
Ivanhoe.
about IvanCon 2017? Is that happening?
that already? Oh, sorry.
Jeez,
Yeah.
Amy, you are dark side. You're a straight up Sith
Hector
now.
wanted me to let it go, but I
I'll
was
be
like,
at 2018.
yeah,
I'll be
I'm not
at
gonna-
IvanCon 2018.
Honestly, I just it's next year's birthday already, as far as I'm concerned. I'm just in it to win it. IvanCon 2017, which yes. Whatever.
Where verbs are adjectives and adjectives are verbs.
Yes, it's a
Hey,
topsy-turvy
maybe I'll Skype in
world.
for that.
Yeah.
Skype me in.
Well, you have fun, my friend. Enjoy. Internet, you have a great day. Keep out there theorizing.
day.
And we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
Go forth, adventure. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this episode of ForeverVerse. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe as we'll be releasing episodes on every Thursday on GNS's YouTube, starting with the first episode right here. If you'd like to jump ahead to the current point in our campaign, you can always watch us live on Twitch, Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you want to watch ForeverVerse episodes that are available right now, you can always go to projectalpha.com. They are all there for you. And if you want to watch episodes that we've already released on YouTube, there's this fun little playlist right here. Thanks. Goodbye. Yes.